The awakened people of Burkina Faso. Once, they called us the poorest. They called us the most broken, most forgotten people on earth. But not anymore. Today, the people of Burkina Faso are rising. From the villages to the cities, from the elders to the children, everyone has understood one powerful truth. No one will clean our land for us. No one will build our country but us. The president has done his part. He removed the foreign soldiers. He pushed back the terrorists. He freed our villages. He stood in front of death and said, "Not my people. Not my land." He made one thing clear to every Burkinabe. I will not beg for you. And I will never let you beg. We will build our own roads. We will grow our own food. We will clean our own dams, lakes, and rivers. And yes, we will build new ones too. And he did not stop at words. He brought cranes, bulldozers, excavators, road machines, and tractors. The ground shook with movement. Burkina Faso began to work again. The president is not watching from a palace. He is standing with us. Now it's our turn to stand for him. For ourselves. For our country. Where we came from. Let's not forget how things were just a short time ago. By the middle of 2022, Burkina Faso was not just poor, it was the most exploited nation on earth. A land full of gold, full of sunshine, full of rivers, and yet, our people were starving. Children were dying. Hope was lost. 44% of the population lived in poverty. That's almost every second home without enough food, without money, without light. Only 19% of households had electricity. Yes, people were still using candles in 2022, in a world of satellites and solar panels. Only 20% had access to toilets or drains. Water was dirty. Mosquitoes swarmed. Kids died from diseases that should no longer exist. 30% had no clean water to drink, even though we have rivers flowing across the country and rain from the skies. We had the land to feed all of West Africa, but 40% of it was in the hands of terrorists, warlords, and criminals. They ruled with guns. They chased out farmers, burned the fields, and laughed at our pain. And the roads? Only 26% were paved. When it rained, they disappeared. When it was dry, the dust swallowed everything. Ambulances could not reach the sick. Trucks could not deliver food. Development could not survive. But the worst enemy was not the jihadists or the roads. The biggest disease was corruption. Every second man in uniform robbed his own people. Every third official stole from the poor. Leaders lived like kings while children begged in the streets. Young men turned to crime. They saw no future. No jobs, no respect, no reason to live. The hopelessness was deep like a well with no end. People said, "This is our fate. Nothing can change." But then, a lion rose. One man stood up. One man, surrounded by enemies. Surrounded by lies. Surrounded by wild dogs, foreign agents, and traitors. But he did not run. He did not hide. He stood. He fought. He kicked out the criminals, one by one. And for the first time in many, many years, Burkina Faso saw something it had not seen. A leader who didn't want to be rich. A leader ready to die for his people. People began to whisper in markets, in homes, in mosques and churches. Sankara is back. A new sun rose over the dusty streets of Ouagadougou. The dry wind began to move. A new energy filled the air. His name was Captain Ibrahim Traoré. He refused high salary. He walked in markets, talked to people. He sat with farmers under the sun. He spoke to women, to children, to workers. He didn't pose for photos, he joined the work. He built factories, for cement, for meat, for milk, for tomato paste. He started gold refineries for the people, not for France. And he said to us, "This is your gold. Your roads. Your rivers. Not for France. Not for the UN. Not for America. But for the sons and daughters of Burkina Faso." He repaired broken roads. Reopened hospitals. Restarted dead schools. He gave pride to the workers. Strength to the farmers. Honor to the soldiers. And slowly, the people woke up. A new spirit. For the first time, the people of Burkina Faso felt, "This country is mine." They saw a president who lived like them. A leader who ate what they ate. A man who never spoke French for the cameras but spoke the language of truth. The government no longer looked to Paris. It looked to the people. And then something magical happened. There were not one Traoré anymore. There were millions. The awakening. The youth were the first to rise. They didn't run to Europe anymore. They didn't join the terrorists. They joined the army. They volunteered by the thousands. Not for money, but for love of their land. Then came the women. With babies tied to their backs, with brooms in hand, with buckets of food, they cleaned streets, fed the workers, planted trees, rebuilt neighborhoods. Then came the children. Carrying bricks. Carrying water. Carrying dreams. And the elders? They sat under the trees. Telling stories. Smiling with tears in their eyes. They said, "We thought we would die before seeing this day." Over 200,000 Burkinabe stood up. Not for aid. Not for salary. But for dignity. For love. For Burkina Faso. They cleaned lakes. Reopened canals. Planted flowers. Paved roads. Painted schools. They did more in a few months than the government did in 60 years. The rich and the poor stood side by side. Muslim, Christian, young and old, united. No differences. No divisions. Just one people. And the world saw it. A fire across the world. The videos spread like wildfire. From Africa to Asia, from TikTok to Telegram, the name Traoré echoed across the internet. Russia said, "This man is brave. We are with him." China said, "This is true independence. We will support." The Arab world prayed, "May Allah protect him." And young Africans in Paris, in New York, in Berlin said, "He is our hero." Because this was never just about Burkina Faso. This is a message to the whole world. Africa is waking up. The struggle continues. Yes, they tried to kill the dream. They tried to assassinate Traoré. They tried to isolate him. They sent lies, propaganda, bribes, threats. But the people stood firm. They said, "We are all Traoré now. He is not perfect. He is not a king. He is not a savior. He is a soldier. A servant. A symbol. He came to wake the people. And now, they are wide awake. No more begging. We no longer wait for the UN to drop food. We no longer stand in line for Western loans. Now, we are building our own future. Our own factories. Our own schools. Our own clinics. Our own Burkina Faso. The dust of shame is gone. The light of hope has returned. This is not a miracle. Burkina Faso was never a poor country. It was a robbed country. Now the robbers are gone. Now the people are back. This is not a miracle. This is not a fantasy. This is what happens when people wake up. This is the story of the awakened people of Burkina Faso. And the story is just beginning. Long live the people. Long live the brave women, the bold youth, the wise elders. Long live the volunteers. Long live the dream. Long live Captain Ibrahim Traoré. May his courage inspire every African. May his spirit cross every border. May his example light the way for all nations still sleeping. The world is watching. Africa is rising. And it began here, in the red dust of Burkina Faso.